Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today we're diving into a really fascinating chapter for this explainer. When most of us hear the word yoga, we instantly picture someone, twisting themselves into a pretzel for an hour, right? But as we're going to see today, it is so much more than just a physical workout. It's actually a completely comprehensive, holistic lifestyle. It's literally a way of life designed to optimize your physical health and really armor your mind against the world. I am super excited to unpack this chapter with you, so let's jump right in. Okay, here is the agenda. We'll start by understanding modern stress, then reframe yoga as a complete way of life. After that, we'll hit the 5 yogic pillars, look at the universal codes of conduct, and wrap up with some actual physical practices for de-stressing. So, starting right off with Section 1, Understanding Modern Stress. Let me just ask you this directly. Have you ever experienced stress? Of course you have. We literally all have. Whether you're a student dealing with crazy school expectations or navigating the whole adult world of work and relationships, it is a universally shared experience. The chapter actually highlights how global events like the COVID-19 pandemic really brought fear and panic right to the forefront of our daily lives. The pressure is just constant. But what's actually happening inside us when we feel stressed? Well, stress isn't just some fleeting bad mood. The text defines it as a very real, measurable imbalance, and it hits us on 2 levels, physiological and psychological. When you run into a demanding situation that you just can't cope with, your body physically changes. Your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure shoots up, your hormones shift, and psychologically, your attention span shrinks, your memory falters, and you get hit with waves of anger, fear, or sadness. It is basically a full system disruption. But, and this is a really crucial distinction, not all stress is bad. We've got beneficial stress. Think of the adrenaline before a big exam or starting a new job. That kind of stress actually motivates you. It pushes you to learn and it promotes growth. On the flip side, though, we have harmful stress. This is when that pressure becomes chronic. It tanks your efficiency, makes you irritable, and over time literally breaks down your body's defenses. We're talking about severe psychosomatic diseases here, like hypertension, ulcers, and depression. All right, moving to Section 2, Yoga as a Way of Life. Here is the absolute core of it all. We cannot always control life situations, but we absolutely can control our response. Life is definitely going to throw unfair, stressful stuff your way. There's no stopping that. But yoga gives you the ultimate toolkit for controlling how your mind and body actually react. It shifts the power right back to you. The source material considers it a panacea, a universal remedy, because it doesn't just put a band-aid on the symptoms. It builds a resilient lifestyle that acts as a shield. Let's dive into Section 3, the 5 yogic pillars. This is where the textbook chapter gets super practical. These 5 pillars show that yoga isn't just about stretching for a few minutes. It is a 24/7 framework for living. We've got ahara, which is your food, vihara, your relaxation, achara, your daily conduct, vichara, your internal thinking, and vyavahara, your external actions. Let's zoom in on a couple of these, starting with what's on our plates. Check out Mithahara, which is the yogic rule for ahara or food intake. The ancient texts didn't just vaguely say, hey, eat healthy. They gave a very specific formula. When you eat, 50% of your stomach should be filled with fresh, nutritious food. 25% goes to liquids. And you literally leave the last 25% completely empty for the free flow of air. How cool is that? Plus, Mithahara makes a huge point about your mental state. You have to eat in a positive state of mind. So no aggressively scarfing down dinner while watching stressful news. Your mindset is just as important as the meal itself. Next up is Vihara, the relaxation pillar. Now, the yogic idea of relaxation isn't just, being lazy on the couch. It is highly active. Vihara teaches us to actively channel our emotions. We're talking creative hobbies like drawing or singing, hanging out with good company, getting solid exercise, and definitely getting sound sleep. You actually have to intentionally schedule these things to keep your emotional state in check. I absolutely love this quote from the text. Vyavahara is the result of ahara, vihara, achara, and vichara. It just ties the whole shebang together perfectly. If you're eating right, relaxing actively, conducting yourself well, and thinking clearly, your outward actions, your vyavahara, will naturally fall into place. It totally mirrors the karma yoga principle, right? Do your absolute best, be fully dedicated, but don't constantly stress out over the final results. Letting go of that outcome is a massive game changer for a stress-free life. Moving right along to Section 4, Universal Codes of Conduct. Ashtanga Yoga lays out these universal codes to protect us from the stress of negative emotions like jealousy or fear. It is broken into two parts. First, the yamas. Think of these as social restraints, the don'ts for interacting with others, like ahimsa, which is nonviolence, and satya, truthfulness. Then you have the niyamas, the personal observances. These are the do's for your own internal world, like shaucha for cleanliness and santosha for contentment. By strictly sticking to these codes, you essentially cut out so much unnecessary social and personal friction from your life. Finally, we reach Section 5, Physical Practices for De-stressing. Let's talk physiology. Sarvangasana, or the shoulder stand, has a profound physical impact. By getting into this position, you literally reverse gravity's effect and send a rush of blood directly to your brain. This regulates your thyroid function and actively strengthens your central nervous system, making your body so much more capable of fighting off stress-induced problems. It is incredibly powerful. Just a quick heads up from the text, though, folks with obesity or cardiac issues should skip this one. And that brings us to Shavasana, the corpse posture. This is probably everyone's favorite part of a session. You're just lying flat on your back, arms and legs slightly apart. But do not let that simplicity fool you. It is deeply, profoundly effective. Shavasana shifts your body into a state of total rest. It actively lowers your blood pressure, melts away anxiety, and literally gives your cells and tissues the chance to repair themselves after a draining day. Now, if we take that relaxation and dial it up to 11, we get Yoga Nidra. The textbook defines this as sleep with awareness. Usually when we fall asleep, we just black out, right? We lose consciousness. But Yoga Nidra deliberately parks your mind in this very specific, incredibly cool space right between being awake and dreaming. This triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode, to drastically reduce physical and mental tension. Here is how you actually do it. You start by lying in that Shavasana pose. Then, the trick is to rapidly rotate your awareness through your body without actually falling asleep. You focus on your right thumb, then first finger, palm, wrist, moving quickly all the way down and then through your back. This rapid rotation forces hidden physical tension to just let go. After that, you shift that intense awareness to your breath, and finally, right into your own mind. It is literally a masterclass in internal focus.
So, what does this all mean for us? Well, we've seen today that yoga is way more than just a workout. It is an entire architecture for living. Everything from how you eat and sleep to how you treat the people around you is connected. So I want to leave you with a challenge. Look at your own daily routine. Which of those 5 yogic pillars, ahara, vihara, achara, vichara, or vyavahara, will you change today to take control of your stress? The power is literally in your hands. Thanks so much for joining me today, Focus Learners, and I'll see you in the next explainer.